Mrs. McDaniel, you opened your case today in hopes of salvaging your marriage with the defendant. You claim you two have suffered a great loss and should be grieving, but instead, due to rumors, your husband is denying your 2-year-old daughter, Ava Wells, and 18-month-old son, Daryl Wells. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wells, you claim you have substantial evidence to prove you didn't father Ms. Wells' kids and say you cannot give 100% of yourself until you have proof you did. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. McDaniel, what is your husband's denial doing to your family?
It's destroying us. Like, we don't need to go through this because we just lost a son 6 months ago, and we need to be grieving with each other. And for him to deny my kids, it's destroying us even more. We barely talk to each other. We sit in separate rooms. You know, we don't do what marriage people are supposed to do.
How long have you been married?
Since February 14th, 2014.
And so just since 2014 and already the marriage, it's being torn apart?
Yes.
Due to this paternity question. I want to get into these rumors, but before I do, I just want to get a little background on your family. Take me back. You all met.
We met, he was with his sister, and it was at a convention center, and he tried to get his 5-year-old to give me his number, and I was like, no, you asked.
A 5-year-old?
He called me friend. He called me friend.
It was my nephew. I seen that she spoke with my sister and them, so my nephew knew her, so I asked my nephew to go.
Your nephew was 5?
Yeah, at the time, he was 5.
How does your nephew know a grown woman when he's 5?
They knew her.
And so he would call me, hey, friend, and I'd be like, hey, friend, you know.
Oh, the nephew would call you friend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he was used to seeing you?
Yes.
Okay, y'all gotta get this story straight, because I'm like, you got 5-year-olds? Okay, so he knew you already, and
Yes,
so
Your Honor.
you wanted to get to know
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
So you sent him over
Yes, ma'am.
to say what?
I sent my nephew over to ask for her phone number.
Oh, 5.
Yeah.
Starting them young, okay. So did he do it?
Yes.
Yes, but I told him, Your Honor, you need to get my number. So we talked on the phone for hours and hours. You know, to me, it was love at first sight.
It was.
But
It was.
I talked on the phone hours. We'd meet up with each other, you know, and from there, we've been together since then. This has been since 2010, 2011.
All right, Mr. Wells, so tell me, why do you believe you are not the father?
Well, Your Honor, I heard rumors that she was cheating on me. Now, I'm grieving too, you know. We both lost a son. But it's just the rumors and everything that I can't deal with it no more.
How long have you been hearing rumors?
I've heard them since the first one was born, the one we lost.
So since you all basically got together and started having children, you've heard rumors that your wife is with someone else?
Yes, that my kids belong to somebody else.
And who told you that?
My ex.
So, Mr. Wells, you are in a relationship, a long-standing relationship, you get married, you begin to have children, and all of a sudden your ex comes to you and says, I've got news.
Yes, that they.
Tell me what she told you.
She was like that Megan is the thought of the place where they work at.
But this is your wife she's talking about.
Yes, yes.
So she just decides she's gonna call you out the blue and tell you your wife is a thought.
I mean, well, not out the blue, but she heard that she was pregnant. So she was like, I just want to let you know that might not be your baby.
Oh, so she was warning you.
Yeah.
And so when she told you this, did you have reason to believe or to suspect?
At first, I didn't. No.
At first?
Nah, cause I mean, she's a good woman. You know, only time I don't see her was when she would be at work. You know, so I don't know what she's doing there, but at home.
And so, okay, well then let me ask you this. If you've got a good woman that you don't have any questions about, you trust her, she only goes to work, she comes back home, she's a good wife, she's, you know, gonna be the mother of your children, how is it that some ex can come in and tell you something about your wife?
Well, it wasn't, I mean, after that, then she's been sneaky on the phone.
Ms. McDaniel starts acting sneaky?
Yeah, she's covering up her text messages, erasing them.
Oh, I delete my text messages. It's been a habit since I was little. I delete my texts every day at midnight, and I can admit to that.
Now, I'm a straight shooter in this courtroom, Ms. McDaniel. That really doesn't sound too good. You delete your text messages every night.
Yes.
Now, clearly, you know, text messages are not what's getting her pregnant. But at the same time, you usually smell a little smoke before we get to the fire. Do you believe that your wife has been unfaithful to you?
Yeah, yes.
You do, and that's
Me
why
too.
you question paternity.
But he might be thinking of a This time we went to a club, and this is another reason he probably, don't think it's his kids, because I was in a club with my friend, and I was dancing on my friend, but the guy spanked me.
And so, Mr. Wells, you saw this happen?
Yes.
What happened?
But the guy, as he starts dancing and twerking, he stuck his whole hand up her dress and he was smacking her butt.
So you're dancing with a friend, and
Yes.
some other guy out of the
she was
blue
speaking to.
puts his hand up your dress and smacks you.
That she was talking to.
This is who your friend was
Yes,
with.
Your Honor.
Oh. Doesn't make it any better, Jerome.
No, it doesn't.
So, Mr. Wells, you see this happening.
Yes, ma'am.
And so in your mind, at that point, that's before you even get married.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is you filed it away in your mental Rolodex.
Mm-hmm.
How does this fuel your doubt about Ava?
The rumors, and then she doesn't look like me. Now, all of my kids, they all favor me in some way,
He has told my daughter, I'm not your daddy, go find your daddy.
What?
I did not say that.
Mr. Wells,
I did not say that.
what did you say?
I probably told her, like, I ain't your daddy. Like, meaning today. Just a joke, though. I just playing with her.
No, that's not a joke. Because if you were playing, you wouldn't be in this courtroom. And so for 2 years, you've looked at this child with doubt in your mind and in your heart.
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
And I can see that really does bother you deep down inside. We've already got a heap of doubt around Ava. I want to move on to your doubt around Daryl now.
For one, I have this, Your Honor.
Jerome, will you hand me that, please? And what is this, Mr. Wells?
That is the birth certificate. As you can clearly see, I'm labeled as Ava's father. I'm not on the birth certificate of him.
But you
Your
two
Honor,
were
he
married at the time.
Yes, and he was
Yeah.
there for the delivery. He was the only one in the delivery room.
Since you're married and the child's born within the marriage, he is the legal father under the law. But why leave his name off of this birth certificate?
I don't know, Your Honor. I mean, I can't sign it.
So you all don't remember the execution of this birth certificate? You don't remember this happening after the baby?
I swore he signed it, but obviously he didn't. That's the proof.
So, Mr. Wells, you feel like there's some part of this that was intentional on your wife's part.
Yes.
You believe that somehow she maneuvered or said, I don't want him to sign that because she was unsure?
Maybe, yes, ma'am. That's my thoughts, yes, ma'am. And then it's his skin tone. He got ginger hair, and he's too light. He is too light.
Well, I mean,
Now, I
his
do-
mother is white now.
I mean,
But,
but
Your Honor, he calls him white
I
boy.
call
That's
him-
not
no.
acceptable.
He calls him what?
White boy, and that's not
I
acceptable.
call him my little white boy.
He has curly hair. He's
Mr.
just like
Wells, you're gonna have to get some better child dialogue, okay? Because what you're saying to these children, no. You refer to the baby as my little white boy?
He's too light for one. The ginger hair, and then like the way his head is shaped. I bought an exhibit.
The what of his head?
The way his head is shaped.
The
Yeah.
shape of his head?
Yeah.
And you brought an exhibit?
Yes, ma'am.
Please step over to your exhibit and show the court what you brought.
Okay. And what I'm showing, Your Honor, is just the way my head is built with like a roller coaster. It has a lump in the middle. Most of my kids, they have that. All of them. As you can see, mine's is the same way. As for little Daryl, his head is more flat, and his hair is ginger, like reddish hair. You feel me? I've never had that in my family.
So
None of my
you
kids.
have a roller coaster head.
Yes.
That's what you call it.
Yes.
Because there's a dip in it.
Yeah.
And the child's head is flat.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel, do you have a roller coaster head?
No, Your Honor. I don't
So-
think so.
You have decided that this physical attribute, you say that your other children possess.
Yes, ma'am.
But how many other children do you have?
I have, between them two, is 5 more.
5 additional?
Yes.
And they all have a roller coaster head.
Yes.
But these 2 children don't have it.
Yeah.
And that leads you to doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
At the end of the day, all of this doubt is truly tearing your family apart. You have this beautiful connection, this beautiful relationship, and now you are barely talking, sleeping in different bedrooms.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not even at a place where you can grieve the loss of your child together. That's a lot. And that's hurtful.
That was my firstborn right there, and he was the world to me. So for him to deny my other ones tears me apart.
And so when you're dealing with this grief and you're by yourself.
Yeah, he's all I got. My family don't grieve with me or nothing. So, I mean, I have nobody but him and my kids.
You are dealing with this by yourself.
Yes, Your Honor.
Each and every day.
Yes, and no parent should have to go through it.
Absolutely not. I mean, for you to be in a position where you've lost a child and have no one to lean on, both of you really, that is difficult. And then to have the doubt seeping through all of this, there's a lot at stake. So at the end of the day, these results truly mean everything.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wells, I can see that this makes you very emotional.
Yes, it does.
What are you feeling in this moment?
It's unexplainable. I mean, I feel lost, especially without that little boy. And I wish that these kids be mine. You know, I want nothing more than that. Even though I do say my little joke names to them, believe me, I love them.
Well, I'm hard on you because children are precious beings.
Yes, I know.
And the words we speak to them have power. And you may not think that they feel them, but it may be the intonation and the intention behind them. Even if they don't understand the words, they may feel something. And I can see that you are a loving person. I can see that from you standing here. And I just want to make sure that in your own grief and in your own doubt, you don't damage children who potentially could be yours. And that's why I'm hard on you. Now, have you prepared yourself if these results don't come out favorably?
I know it's going to be hard. I haven't prepared myself for anything. I just pray for the best. That's all I can do.
If one of the children or both of the children are not your biological children, would you still continue and try to make this marriage work?
I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know.
Hearing your husband say that, Ms. McDaniel.
It hurts. I mean, because my kids really love him. So, I mean, I would have to deal with it, but I can't change the way he feels, but it would hurt and it would really tear my kids apart.
Well, I think the only way we are going to start to get down to the bottom of this is to get the results. Jerome?
There you go, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're welcome. We have 2 results today, and these results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of McDaniel versus Wells, when it comes to 2-year-old Ava Wells, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Wells, you are the father.
Thank
You look relieved.
I am. Very relieved. Very relieved.
Good. In the case of McDaniel versus Wells, when it comes to 18-month-old Daryl Wells, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Wells, you are the father.
Sorry, baby.
Now that we have this result, tell them how it makes you feel.
I love you and I want our marriage to improve, but we need to grieve over our son and be there for each other. And I hope you start believing things I say, not your ex or any family members.
Yes, baby. I do, baby.
Ms. Eggleston, you and your identical twin sister state that the man who raised you recently shocked you when he announced that he is not your biological father. You've petitioned the court for a paternity test because you believe finances are motivating your alleged father's claims. Mr. Eggleston, your statement to the court counters that you know for sure that the plaintiff's father is a white man and you are not their biological dad. Now, Ms. Eggleston, how did you and your sister learn this news?
Okay, well, it all started about a year ago at his birthday party. And we overheard him speaking to some of our family members saying, y'all know these not my kids. That's what he was saying. We heard him. Now we was listening, saying to our family members, y'all know they're not my kids.
I'm down here raising Richardsons and nobody is helping.
Okay.
That's what he was explaining to the rest of our family members.
But our family members didn't say anything back.
Yeah,
Nobody
it was
said
dry.
anything. It was just dry. But I'm thinking he's just speaking under the influence of alcohol.
Let me ask you this, ladies. Before this birthday party, before this happened, in your whole lives, there had never been any other mention. The subject never came up that this man potentially was not your biological
no,
father?
ma'am.
No, none whatsoever. We grew
had-
up when babies as him being our
Our father.
father. He
Him
would come
being-
visit us. He would take us out.
He
He's
was there
been
from-
there. He's on our birth certificate.
Yeah.
He's our dad.
All right,
That's-
Mr. Eggleston, I need to hear from you. Why is it that you believe you're not their father when, sounds like to me, you've raised them as your own?
Yes, I did. Knowing from the start that I knew they wasn't mine, but you know, something overcame me that.
So let me get to the part. You knew their mother.
Yes, I did.
So how did that happen?
Well, I was coming home one day and she was in the backyard barbecuing, and I noticed this big, beautiful smile, big breasts. And,
Notice those, huh?
yeah, and the big cheeseburgers on the grill.
Okay.
Made a date, you know. Eventually, we got together, and next thing you know, I'm living in her mama's basement, and not too soon after that, she's on the phone calling some guy out, and I'm telling him to send money. You know, I'm pregnant, and she's looking at me going like this, you know. And
So when she said, I'm pregnant, do you immediately think these may not be mine, or do you say that these are my children?
I said it to myself. I didn't want to say it to her, but I knew it all along.
And why did you doubt
I
specifically?
don't know. I wish, that's probably my thought frame back then, because, you know, maybe if I get in this relationship, it'll make my life better. It'll turn me around, you know.
Okay, so let's move forward
Yes.
to the birth of these two beautiful young ladies.
Yes.
You were there for the birth?
I was right there beside her.
So you were in the delivery room?
Yes, with my little mask on and doctor suit on.
Why? Why doubt?
When I seen them coming out, they was glowing.
They were
And-
glowing.
Yeah. Look how pale they was, and plus the gook on their body, you know, they was shining.
So when they were born, you say they were glowing because they were very pale.
Yes. And, you know, I didn't have intentions on signing it, but, you know, I had the spirit come over me, you know, the little devil and the angel.
Oh, you got both of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
The devil said, "Don't, you know they're not your kids, don't sign it." Then the angel said, they're gonna need you.
Now-
Don't turn your back on them.
So what's your point of saying you're not?
Why even tell us?
So why did you sign the
Because,
birth
you know,
certificate?
now I'm getting this mouth, I'm getting this, you know, tension.
It
you know.
doesn't matter if you
I never
promised
speak to,
our mom.
I never speak to you again.
It
I hate
doesn't
you. I'm the
matter if
sorriest dad around.
Because you
know.
wasn't doing what you were supposed to do.
I'll give you allowance.
It's not about allowance. What school clothes did you buy? How did you take care of us? Can you, as a man, tell
I'm
me
a
what you
single
did?
parent. You know, I'm a single parent. You
Okay,
know.
and Mr. Eggleston, how do you respond to their claims that their
Nothing.
childhood was less than stellar because you were negligent?
I was never able to buy 2 pair of Nikes, 2 cell phones, 2 this, 2 this. You know,
You didn't buy anything.
Okay,
What about
okay.
a book
So
bag?
now I get punished because I'm not money worthy. You know, to keep them happy. To keep them happy. It's all about money now. It's all about money now.
It's not
If I
about
cherished it with money, it'd be a whole new different ball game.
took care of us.
So let me ask you this, ladies. I'm
I'm cooking
hearing.
them dinner every day. I'm making sure they come home and do their homework, but that's not good enough.
We didn't have no structure.
No structure at all.
Me and my
I'm a
sister could
single
do what.
man. Yeah, I'm a single man. You know, I got this
No
responsibility
job,
now. I got
not
this.
trying to work.
Right, you know.
Friends over every day.
Every
We
day
did it
drinking.
ourselves. Our basketball coach bought school supplies.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this, ladies. Ladies, let me say this. Let me say this to you. I know this is emotional. I know it is. For both of you.
It just sucks, you know, because my mom, she's gone. So even if whatever the DNA test shows, we don't even have her side. You know?
When did you lose your mom?
When we were 8 years old, in front of us. You know what I'm saying? It happened in front of us, but nobody never asked how we were doing. You know, he took us to Columbus, you know, away from our family, away from, you know, everything that we knew.
So when your mom passed away, he did take you in?
Yes, and he took us.
later?
A year later, he took us. And before we left, my mom's mom told us he didn't want us till he found out he was going to be getting $900 a month.
That is not true.
My grandma Ida, which
That is not
she
true.
said that he was not hollering about taking y'all to Columbus until he found out money was involved.
So he packed you all
and she
up
told us
and
to
moved you
prepare
to
for that.
That
She
is
said,
not
be
true.
aware.
That
She
is
said,
not
be
true.
aware.
That is not true.
We have no reason to lie.
Exactly.
That-
We
Okay.
don't want none of this.
Okay, and so he takes you and you move
We
to
go to
Columbus.
Columbus.
And
We-
how was your childhood there? Tell me about that.
Me and him never got along. Like, me and him fought all the time. Thought just because we kids, what we say don't matter, and how we felt don't matter, but it do.
I'll be the first to tell you that it's things I should have did different.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Why? Why now do you lean over this podium and say, I'm not your daddy, but I am your daddy?
Because I'm fussed at and cussed at, and
You feel
I
like
never,
they're disrespecting you now.
Yeah, I never speak to you again. You the sorriest dad in the world. I've been in their life for 18 years, 3 months, and 16 days.
All right.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
18
right.
years,
So what's
3
the
months, and
point
3
of us
days.
being
What more else I got to prove? What else I got to
Let me
prove?
have some order, because I've got to get to an important point. Mr. Eggleston, let me get something straight. You say that you know you're not the father, and you know that a white man is their father. Tell the court how you know this.
Well, we went to a doctor, and she got marks on her back, and the doctor questioned, you know.
She had some marks on her back.
Yeah, some skin,
rash, skin.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Which
they
I can
questioned.
clarify that
First
for
thing
you.
she come out the doctor's office, Daddy, you sure y'all got the wrong babies? You know, you didn't get the wrong babies? I said, okay, here we go again. You know, so I'm not the biological dad. Okay.
So the doctor told you.
Basically, I had this skin condition on my back, which is called tinea versicolor. They saying that this is what I got, and it's only seen in Caucasians. But I had just said, forget what they said, I'm gonna just figure out on my own.
it.
And I
Okay.
found out that the skin treatment is not just for Caucasians. It's
Did
also
you bring
seen
some
in
of that
black people,
research
yes.
into court?
And
Jerome, will you
here's
hand me
some
that
of the
package?
evidence.
So in your mind, without expressing to them, your doubts are getting validated. Is that what I'm understanding?
They were validated from day one because when I met her mother, it's on her birthday. When is your mother's birthday?
August 4th.
August 4th.
Add 9 months to that.
You give it to the court.
7 months.
Okay. So the babies were born 7 months after you met their mother. Okay. Let me bring your witness up, ladies. Please approach the podium. Please state your name.
My name is Deshana
Hello.
Hi.
Miss Deshana
Johnson. I'm
Johnson.
sorry.
Miss Johnson. Let me first ask you what your relationship is to.
These are my second cousins. Their mother is my first cousin.
Okay.
Okay. She was 10 years older than me, but I was 10, and you kind of look up to them, you know, the makeup, all that kind
Yeah,
of
like
stuff.
sisters. You
Right.
were
So
like the
we
younger
got,
sister.
and I'm an only child, so that's how it was. But he's talking about a white man that actually, I don't know how to word it, but I want to say he was like her John. He didn't care if she was pregnant. He would have sent her money just because that's what they do. That's what they do. That was his purpose of being there. And she didn't just call once. He sent money often. Before she got pregnant, he was sending money.
So what you're saying is their mom did have a relationship with a white man
Yes,
that
ma'am.
she knew and
Yeah.
she had a relationship with.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Eggleston, do you know who this man, Miss Johnson, is referring to is?
As far as I'm concerned, it was her sugar daddy.
Mr. Eggleston, did anybody ever tell you specifically that these young girls are not your children because
No.
a white man is their father?
I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. Like I say, all I can remember is the
So this
phone
is
call.
you speculating
Yeah,
based upon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the only person that could even say anything that could give us any doubt that he's not the father was a friend of my mom.
Okay.
And she said that my mom told her directly that he was not
But
the
at the
father.
same time,
When you
we
got
can't
that
have
information from the family friend, did you share it with
No.
your dad?
No.
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 So let me get a little further into these issues. Mr. Eggleston, your mother, she was unable to make it to court today, so she sent a video statement in. I'd like to play that statement, please.
Rodney said he's not the father. After 18 years, he should have said this from the very beginning when the first month when Sophia died. That's what he should have said when the twins were born. He should have said they weren't his, but he didn't. And I don't want Rodney to tell me ever again that he's not the father.
And that's true. That's true.
Ladies.
And that's his own mom.
But
that's what we have to
let
go
them
through
speak.
every day. That's his own mom, my own grandmother. You know, he brought this to our attention off of something that he thought. When we was little babies, if you thought that we wasn't yours, then that's when you take us somewhere and you get that done and you keep that to
don't wait till
yourself.
we grow
Period.
up.
This is our only family that we
Never
know.
had to know.
Ladies, first of all, I need to say that your mother is a beautiful lady.
Thank
and
you.
I know regardless of what has happened, she is proud of you all for seeking out your own truth and for wanting to understand and being brave enough to ask the questions and find the answers to things that some people don't have the strength to do.
We found a journal of his. He don't know we read it, but we found a journal. And basically, I understand that this is something that he been fighting with himself and it's starting to hit him. So it's like...
So then that makes us figure, okay, then now we understand why you treated us like we was always
it's something that he hits from.
stepchildren, like stepchildren and
Exactly.
stuff.
It's something he been fighting with. He was saying,
What
like,
did it say specifically?
In the journal, basically, a major part of the journal was about us, and he labeled it his secret. He was saying, you know, he was in detail saying they came out and I seen them. He said that I felt something came over my body saying, you know, I'm gonna be in these kids' life. They're gonna need me one day.
Yep.
He said that I had to step up and be a father. It's like he was talking
Is
to
this true,
himself.
Mr. Eggleston?
Yes.
And
But
then
now I
it's
see
okay
now
if you
I shouldn't
do
have did
but you
that.
play that
Like I said, I should have
role.
left up out of there. They hurt and stuff that maybe I should, you know.
But listen,
is that what they wanted?
listen to me. You have to understand, you speak out of frustration, but you've got to understand that those
There's
words are
always
daggers
kids
in their hearts.
Exactly.
You get frustrated and you say something,
Yes.
but it affects how they feel about who they
That's
are.
the issues I have. I took after my dad, you know, mouthy, you know, a lot of things I don't think before I talk.
Before you speak.
You know, I got a bad habit of that.
I think at this point, we're ready to learn the results.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, whether the results say he is your father or he isn't, this court wants to understand what you want going forward.
You know, I have always had that daddy's little girl mentality.
Yeah.
You know, coming from my point of view, I want him to be the dad, you know, because it didn't matter what he did, how I felt, how she felt. I always knew that I'm gonna be daddy's little girl. You know, I'm always gonna cover from him, you know, but at the same
And that's,
time,
and that's the thing, he has that over her.
Yeah, he has that on
I
her.
feel like if you my dad, you still should have did better. If you're not my dad, then you should have
still
kept
shoulda
your
did
did
Mr.
better.
Eggleston, I see you becoming emotional right now.
That was a big step.
And this is an opportunity for you to not speak out of anger and for you to speak from your heart, because I see you're very emotional. What do you feel now?
I'm going to always love them. Whether,
Right.
however I
That's
show
what
it,
they
however I
want.
feel it, you know, they a part of me.
Well said. So, with that said, Jerome, please pass me the results.
You better be the dad.
When it comes to whether Mr. Rodney Eggleston is the father of Antonia and Rodnea Eggleston, Mr. Eggleston, when it comes to whether Mr. Rodney Eggleston is the father of Antonia and Rodnea Eggleston, Mr. Eggleston, you are their father.
know.
do it.
You know. All this time, look just like him, look at the head. I'm like, quit playing.
Exactly.
Look just like all
So
his kids.
basically, you know, like
It's a waste of time. It's something he
The
made up in
whole
his
time.
head.
Okay. I have to say something to you guys. We all wish we could rewind the
Yes, ma'am.
past
Yes,
and
ma'am.
make every wrong right,
Right.
but we can't.
I told you.
We can't do it.
Cannot. No, ma'am. You're absolutely
But the
right.
beauty and the blessing of it all is that we have today.
All right.
Right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And what I
you.
saw
Thank
as
you.
soon as that result came in, I didn't see a beat in hesitation, and that man walked from that podium straight over to his daughters.
Yes, he did.
Sometimes the love is in the little things. Sometimes he might not get the school nights right. He might not show up to all the games. He might not be able to get the book bag.
Exactly.
He's a human being that's gotten it very wrong. And sometimes people can only do better when they know better.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're absolutely
I'm looking
right.
at you, Mr. Eggleston. You probably, can we really keep it real, weren't the father that you hoped you were going to be to the kids, but you were making it up as you go along.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So in some ways, you do owe them an apology.
Of course I do.
For a lot of what
Yeah.
happened when they were growing up.
Exactly. Rania, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I could have been a better dad.
It's a work in progress.
You know, but I'm always here for you. I am your daddy for real now.
You
You know, I
was the
could have
daddy
did things
then.
different. You know, we're gonna be all right.
We'll be all right. Yes, ma'am. We're going to be all right.
You know, this is one of these days where the court really feels overjoyed.
Thank you. Thank you. All the progress.
And yes, we've got Daddy and his little girls. I wish you guys a beautiful, long, happy life together.
Thank you.
And I want you to learn to love each other, but also to forgive each other.
Yes, ma'am.
Court is adjourned.